down there with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, they're struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way. I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
Girl, you are to me all that a woman should be, and I dedicate my life to you always. A love like yours is great. It must have been sent from up above, and I know you'll stay this way for always. And we both know that our love will grow and forever it will be you and me. Ooh, you're like the sun, chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brightness. You're the perfect one for me, you forever will be, and I will love you so for always. Come with me, my sweet, let's go make a family. They will bring us joy for always. Oh, I love you so. And we both know that our love will grow and forever it will be you and me. Oh, you're like the sun, chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brightness. You're the perfect one for me, and you forever will be, and I will love you so for always. What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that right there? It's that classic stuff. Yeah. Oh, you're like the sun, chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brightness. You're the perfect one for me, and you forever will be, and I will love you so for always. Ooh.
will love you so always. Ooh, 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 I will love you so.
Looking for more entertainment options? I can also play audiobooks.
Alexa,
just say.
Stop. What up, what up, what up, y'all? What's going on? Man. Jesus is love. That's right. What's let me see who up in here. English gal.
Hello?
Hi, English girl. How are you?
I've sorted out the echo.
I see that. Great job. I'm so proud of you. Yay.
Yes.
What up, Quay?
What's up? I'm coming. I'm good.
All right. Cool. Tanya, what's up? All right. My readers want to jump up in here. We're going to work this thing out today. Okay, y'all. So today, I've been having people ask me about Atlas. Are you going to read the Chicago indictments? I've been had those, and yes, I am. What I want to do is what's up, Riri?
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, Tanya?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm great. So we got a nice little mixture now. We got English girl up in here with the London accent. We got Riri who thinks she gonna do something. We got Tanya up in here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to get to it. So let's see. So I am going to be reading the Chicago indictment, but I wanted to one thing about me is I like to finish one thing before I get on to another one. You know what I'm saying? So I'll probably do some other stuff just to make sure. I think we got some time before we get to Chicago's. I want to finish this up. That's why I'm being so assertive and so aggressive with it, so we can wrap this up and then move into the next thing, okay? Hey, it's Quay's sister. Hey, Quay's sister, how you doing? Your sister in here, Quay.
My sister?
Yep.
I can't see the chat, but I did tell her about it. I was like, man, you gotta listen to it live. I'm
so happy she's here. Welcome. Let's see who up in the chat, y'all. Who here? Michelle, what's going on?
She said she can't.
What's up, Granny? Tammy Beckham, hey. Diva Time, what's going on? Rosalind Baxter, hello. Riri, oh yeah, you already, yeah, you know you here. I got something for you.
We're gonna be quiet.
David Pride, what's going on? Who else up in here? Let me see. Hey, Angela Anderson, how are you? Let me see. K Love 92 in the building. Ashley Williams in the building. How you doing? Let me see. Boom, 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 boom.
Can I make a quick disclosure?
Huh? Yeah.
So I'm here with just my little one. Say hi. She wants to say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
So if I'm on mute and I'm not right there, I might be screaming at her or something.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Handling your parent duties. What's up, Lenise Robinson? How are you? Christina Michelle. Hey, what's going on? Chi-Town OG is in the building. What's up, bro? All right, hold on. I'm a Queen Newton in here. Lasting Impressions by Kim. Hello. Boom, 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 boom. Miss Paris, hello. How are you? You said just about to head to lunch. Good timing. Hey, exactly. Mary Ann Green, how are you? Oh yeah, y'all know that's a wedding song. I love that song. Y'all know I be trying to catch all off guard. Sharon Spiller, hello. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. David Campos, what's going on? How are you? Black Diamond in the building. Tanya here. Dynamite is here. Shirley, hey Miss Shirley, how are you? And my Evie Ravnell. I hope I didn't murder your sister's name, but welcome in. And Latrice B. Okay, y'all, let's get straight to it. So today we are going to be reading on day 19. This is still Larry Hood, who is getting examined by Charlotte. Okay, so once we get through with this, then I believe we're gonna have some more of the government doing a cross-examination and all that kind of stuff. So that's when Riri gonna try to take her chance, and I'm gonna have to smash her like I always do. So let's do this. So English gal, if you would please read the if you will please read the judge. I like to hear English judge.
Okay.
And then Quay, you do what you do with the intermediate parts. Riri, if you could be the let me see. Tanya, you be the government. Riri, Riri, you could be the government. Tanya,
Yeah, it needs to be the government.
no substitute. You and Riri in and out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then Shay came up in here too. So Shay, we're gonna try to squeeze you in here. I don't know what's about to happen, but we're gonna get you up in here one way or the other. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, y'all.
Thank you.
So we are going to start with Larry Hood and Scholar, and then I'm sure the cross-examination when Riri gonna try to do something, we're gonna see how I handle her. So here we go. All right. No, sir. During the time, did you
Hold on. I can't see the script. Where is it?
Oh, thank you for letting me know, because I wasn't sharing it. So
No,
Yeah, I was
weren't.
like, wait a minute.
hold on.
I could just see your face.
That's right. There we go. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. All right. So now for you, Miss English, so you know yours will say the court. Wherever it says the court, that's where you come in, okay?
And you're going to move it up and down, correct?
Absolutely. I got you covered.
Fine. Okay.
All right. No, sir. During that time, did you ever see him strike any female? No, sir. Did you ever see him observe withdrawn? Did you ever see him stop anyone from eating? No, sir. And did you ever see him prevent anyone from leaving a room? No, sir. Did you ever see Mr. Kelly lock a woman in a room? No, sir. And did you ever lock a woman in a room? No, sir. Withdrawn. As a security, as a police officer, were you ever made aware of any woman being locked in a room? No. I mean, if I was ever to be made of a woman being locked in a room as a police officer, I mean, I would have to take some action against that. Did you ever take action or any type of with respect to Mr. Kelly? No. I never had to take any action. I was never made aware of any wrongdoing. Were you aware of any woman being kept in a room for days without eating or drinking? No, sir. And were you an active police officer during this entire time from 2002 to 2004? Yes, sir. And you stopped providing security services for Mr. Kelly in 2004? Yes. And why was that? I mean, well, they stopped paying me on leave because, his accountant called me to the office and said that, that they wasn't or they couldn't afford to pay me anymore. Did you stop being his friend? Pardon me? Did you stop being his friend? No, sir. Though you may have been his friend for this amount of time, would you lie for him? No, I would not. Now, did you leave the police department at some point? In 2007, yes. And did you leave in good standing with your pension? Yes, I left in good standing with my pension. And when did you begin selling cars? Probably about 2 years after. Thank you. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you. Cross-examine. Is that me? Cross-examination, Miss Shahita. Yes. Cross-examination by Miss Shahita. Sorry, I've just woken up. My voice is a bit.
You good. So wherever it says Miss Shahita, that's where Riri will jump in. Okay. But everything that says court, that's you. That was fine what you said, cross-examination. That was fine. And then Sharice, all the things is in parentheses. All right?
One second. What page?
We're at the top of 4051.
All right.
Line 6.
All
right. So this right here now is the cross-examination of the government going against Larry Hood, Riri versus the champ. Let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Mr. Hood, you are a childhood friend of the defendant, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that you said you met him in grammar school.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also live in the same neighborhood growing up?
Well, not in the immediate same neighborhood.
Close by?
Close, yeah.
All right. So you would see each other pretty much every day growing up.
Every day.
And you went to the same school as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Including the same high school.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was Kenwood Academy?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the same grade?
Yes, we actually graduated grammar school and went to high school together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you graduated from Kenwood Academy.
I graduated, yes.
The defendant did not graduate, correct?
No, he did not.
He dropped out in his senior year?
No, it was before senior year.
Before his senior year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said at some point that you became the security for the defendant. Is that correct? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And by the way, what year did you graduate from Kenwood Academy?
1986.
Okay. So now, after you graduated from Kenwood Academy, did you continue to hang out there too? I mean, did you continue to hang out there?
Did I continue to hang out at Kenwood Academy?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
How about the defendant? Did he?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in the early days, at the start of the defendant's career, you were with him a lot, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And back in the early 90s, you saw Demetrius Smith with the defendant, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Demetrius went by the nickname of Johnny, correct?
Johnny, yes.
All right. And he ended up being the defendant's road manager for a period of time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And for that period of time, you acted as the defendant's personal security?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, around 1991, the defendant had an apartment in a building called the Burnham at 40 East 9th Street on the corner of 9th Street and Walmart in Chicago, correct?
Yes.
And you spent time at that apartment, correct?
Yes, I did.
And that was a 2-bedroom apartment?
Yes, it was.
And the defendant would have guests at the apartment, correct?
Not guests that I knew of.
You never saw a single guest when you were at the apartment on 9th and Wahlburgers? Is that your testimony?
No, ma'am.
You never saw a single guest.
Nope.
And how often were you there, sir?
I actually only stayed with him at the apartment for maybe a month.
You were living there.
Yeah, I lived there for about a month.
Okay. So apart from living there, did you ever go to the apartment when you weren't living there?
Yes, I did.
And is that your testimony that each time that you were there, it was just you and the defendant?
Sometimes I would be there by myself.
That wasn't my question, Mr. Hood, sir. I said, were there times when other people other than you and the defendant were at the apartment?
At the when I was there, it was just him.
So you were never at the apartment with anybody else, either in the month that you was living there or the times that you stopped by the apartment.
No, ma'am.
And that's your testimony. Okay. Now, you mentioned that you met Aaliyah with the defendant, correct?
Yes.
That was before she was famous, right?
Yes.
And that was in Detroit?
In Detroit.
And she was at her parents' home, her family home.
At her family home.
She was living with her parents at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Her older brother?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Aaliyah was Barry Hankerson's niece, correct?
Yes. Yes, she was.
And back in the early 90s, Barry Hankerson was the defendant's manager, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you met Aaliyah in Detroit around 1992 or so. Is that right? Or before that?
Whichever year it was.
Well, which year do you think it was?
I do not, have recollection of the year it was, but it was when he first met her. I was there with him.
And who else was there?
Her mother, her father, her younger brother. I think her brother was younger than her, I think.
And who else was there? Was it just you and the defendant? Anybody else with the defendant?
No, it was me and the defendant.
How about Barry Hankerson? Was he there?
I don't recall. I don't recall whether Barry was there or not. I don't think so.
Okay. And I know you don't remember the exact year, but fair to say that she was around 12 or 13 at the time?
Yeah, approximately.
And you knew that, correct?
No, I didn't. I didn't know her age.
Well, you could tell by her age by looking at her.
Yeah, I mean, she was a young lady, yes.
Now, the defendant ended up working with Aaliyah, correct?
Yes.
And Aaliyah traveled to Detroit, from Detroit to Chicago to record her first album, right?
Yes.
And that was at...
Is that me?
Quaisha?
Oh.
I was on. Sorry. Court reporter. Clarification.
Recording studios, correct? And go ahead, question.
Reporter clarification.
And the defendant wrote and produced her first album.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct. Sorry.
And that was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Correct?
Correct.
And there was also a title song with that same name on that album. Correct?
Yes.
And you've heard that song before, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it's about a young girl trying to convince an older man to, quote, go all the way. Correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, Aaliyah was around 14 when she recorded that album. Correct?
Approximately, yes.
Now, you testified on, well, actually, withdrawn. At some point, you became aware that the defendant married Aaliyah, correct?
Objection, Judge.
Overruled. I don't understand what you were asking. Oh, that's not me. Overruled. Sorry.
I don't understand what you're asking me.
At some point, you became aware that the defendant married Aaliyah, correct?
I wasn't present.
That was not my question, sir. Did you become aware of that?
Later in life, yes.
When you say later in life, what do you mean?
I wasn't aware of it when it happened.
I see. Go ahead.
Okay. So you weren't at the marriage ceremony, correct?
No, I was not.
And you didn't see it with your own eyes, correct?
No, ma'am.
But that doesn't mean that it didn't happen, correct?
Objection, Judge.
Sustained.
Now you testified that you became a Chicago police officer around 1994, correct?
Yes, around August of 94.
And you remained a Chicago police officer for several years after that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, you stayed on the force until approximately 2007, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the defendant, he knew that you was working as a police officer, right?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes.
So, from 1994 to 2007, that's about 13 years, right?
Yes.
So, during those 13 years, the defendant knew that you were one of his closest friends were on the police force, correct?
Objection, Judge, to new.
Sustained as to form.
Did the defendant know that you worked for the police, that you worked as a police officer?
Yes, ma'am. Objection.
Did he know the entire period of 13 years that you
Objection, Judge.
worked as a police officer?
Overruled.
You can answer.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that you testified on direct that you continued to work security for the defendant when you weren't on duty as a police officer. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that you had sometimes brought other members of the Chicago Police Department to work security for the defendant.
Yes.
Is that right? Who did you bring on?
Just fellow officers.
What were their names?
I don't recall.
A single one?
Well, yeah, Ricky Bell. I also had a friend that was a county sheriff. His name was Lewis Smith, and Chauncey Moore.
Now, you were aware that other people that worked as security for the defendant. Is that right?
Yes.
And I'm showing you what's in evidence is Government Exhibit 19. This is going to be public, please.
The above referred is exhibit. The above referred to exhibit was published.
Now, do you recognize this person?
Yes.
And who is that?
Ronald Hardy.
And what did he do for the defendant?
Security.
Did he go by any nicknames?
Pardon me?
Did he go by any nicknames?
Yeah, it's called him Hardy.
Okay. Now, I'm showing you what's in evidence as the Government Exhibit 23.
The above referred to exhibit was published.
Do you recognize this person?
No.
You don't recognize this person.
No, I do not.
Now, you talked about a person that, for the purpose of the trial, we referring to as Angela. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
And I think that you mentioned that I think that you said that she was one of Aaliyah's little friends.
Yes.
And that you saw her around in the early days. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you saw her at the studio. Is that right?
At the studio. Question.
Court reporter clarification.
Yes.
And you saw her with some other people as well, correct?
Yes.
Someone who went by the name of Tiffany?
Tiffany.
And what was, just using her first name, please, what was Tiffany doing at the studio?
Same thing. One of Aaliyah's girlfriends.
Did Tiffany record music at the studio?
Yeah, I think they were just like some little hype girls or something, you know?
Oh, they were Aaliyah's hype girls.
Pardon me? Yeah, Aaliyah's little hype girls.
And did you ever go on tour? Were you ever on tour where Aaliyah was present?
No, I don't recall being on tour with Aaliyah.
Now, Tiffany and Angela, the person that we're referring to as Angela, they were in a group with a third person called Second Chapter, correct?
I don't know of any group they ran.
Mr. Hood, when you saw them hanging out at the studio, they were underage, correct?
I don't know what their ages were.
Well, you testified earlier that you never saw anyone underage around. Fair to say that you wasn't checking IDs?
No, I wasn't checking IDs, okay, at the studio with the...
So that's a no. You weren't checking IDs. That's a no. You weren't checking...
At the studio, no, I was not checking IDs.
Now you testified, I believe you testified on direct examination that you left the police department in 2007 in good standing with your pension. That was your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hood. Isn't it true that you left the police department in 2007 because you were convicted of felony forgery?
I pled on a felony, and I left the department in good standing with my pension.
Your testimony is that with a felony conviction, you left the department in good standing. That's your testimony.
Yes.
And in fact, that felony forgery conviction was related to the use of counterfeit $100 bills. Correct?
Yes.
You were trying to buy a money order using counterfeit $100 bills that were, in fact, $5 bills. Correct?
I wasn't aware of it.
You wasn't aware of it?
No, ma'am.
But you pled guilty under oath in a court of law to that crime. Correct?
Yes.
And you're saying that you weren't telling the truth then?
I was not aware that the money was fake.
So you weren't telling the truth under oath in court when you pled guilty?
Yes.
And you're under oath in court here today, correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Nothing further, Judge.
Who
Thank
says that? Okay. Thanks so much. You can step down now.
Thank you.
Witness excused.
Are you ready to call your next witness, please?
Judge, the witness was not scheduled to be here until after lunch.
Okay, we will do an early lunch today.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we'll break for an early lunch, and I think we will come back at, let's come back at 2:00. Please don't talk about the case at all. We'll see you in a little bit.
All rise.
Jury exits.
All right, everybody can sit down. What does the afternoon look like? You've got another witness.
Yes, Judge. If we could have a sidebar.
Sure. Let's bring the court reporter.
Sidebar conference held on the record out of the hearing of the jury.
Both of you.
Sidebar.
You, Adams, that's
I was waiting
Both
for that.
of you.
Yes. So we have another witness after lunch. It's Kiana Jones, and I just wanted to know if she's being called for a very limited purpose,
Right.
which was to discuss her meeting Geronda Pace.
Right.
Her meeting.
Her meeting Geronda Pace, and I wanted to know if you were, going to allow any admission of hearsay with respect to that, either on direct or cross.
That's such an open-ended question. I need a little more.
Caddick, I guess, Your Honor, what's going on is that we want to call to just, elicit testimony about this party that Geronda testified about, going to and what happened when she got to the party. We are only calling her for that purpose. If it's a situation where I think the government has interviewed her and I know, that interview that they get some hearsay information from her. And we just want to make sure that the court is alerted to it, that she, doesn't have firsthand knowledge of the relationship between Kelly and Geronda. And we don't want we just want to flag the fact that the government may try to bring out information that's hearsay about the relationship.
I have no intention
Okay.
of bringing out hearsay.
Of the relationship?
She's not bringing out anything. I know what.
We just jump up and say hearsay.
I think I know what hearsay is. So I'm not too concerned about being able to identify it. I'm just trying to figure out what you want me to do. Because it sounds to me, and I don't know anything about this witness, it sounds to me like you want to make sure that she only testifies about the part that you want her to testify about. And you don't want the government to ask her any other questions.
Any other questions about hearsay? As long as she's...
Don't ask about hearsay.
Done.
All right, is that it?
That's it, thank you. Is there anybody after that? Oh, that's you.
Is that me?
I think
Is
so.
there anybody after that?
There was one. That was the last one.
Okay, so it's fine. What's our universe of witnesses for tomorrow?
We may have 3 witnesses. It would be possibly an accountant, a studio engineer, and one Perryman, Perryman. The twins as well. And the twins, they should get us
They should get us through the morning. And I have a question. I'm having a CGA interview with the Southern District tomorrow. You know, they moved it from 10 o'clock to 4:15. And I was wondering if you would be able to.
I hardly ever say no, but what I really want to know for everyone's sake is when we're going to be done.
I think we'll be done Wednesday morning. I think we'll be finished with the witnesses.
Okay, and are you anticipating calling the defendant, or you don't know yet?
Right now, we don't think we are, but we, it could change.
Right, here's my concern. I mean, in any case that goes on for a long time, I've always concerned about keeping the jury together. I'm obviously especially concerned about it in these unprecedented times. And I also want to keep everything moving. So it sounds like we're not going to have a full day tomorrow, but we can. I hope I can give you the charge. I don't think there's a whole lot of dispute about the charge. I could be missing something, but, and then I know you know, which happens in every single trial ever, that everybody wants to sum up on the same day. And if we can do that, we will. But if we can't, we're not. I just don't want to give an afternoon off and then charge on Friday. It's late. If I don't have to, I want to use our time as wisely as I can. That being said, I'm really trying to give you some leeway here on your case, in terms of filling up the day, and I will do that. But I really want to get this case to the jury this week, if we can do it.
Your Honor, might I make a suggestion?
Of course.
And I haven't discussed this with the investigator who is lining these witnesses up, nor have I discussed it with Mr. Schaller. But maybe we could bring all of our witnesses in on Wednesday and then sum up on Thursday.
And what's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we get all them lined up. And then they cross all this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Then it comes back here. We have witnesses coming in.
Okay.
And it's just, that I was thinking that, for efficiency's sake, that we could call them all on one day.
But who knows what's going to happen? So none of them can come this afternoon, I take it.
No. They are out of state. Chicago, LA, and Florida.
Okay.
Now that's part of the problem with the funds and trying to line them up and having to volunteer, maybe not getting reimbursed, especially last minute airfares.
Are you anticipating having a rebuttal case?
Not so far, but I don't know. I mean, having not seen a single piece of 3,500 material, I have no idea what they're going to say.
All right.
I haven't either.
Wait, I'm sorry. Just one other thing. So what time do you think that you will finish on Wednesday? Do you think it will just be in the morning?
Look, if we start at 9 o'clock, I'll probably be done by like 9:05. No, I'm just joking.
I was like, wait a minute.
Probably just the morning, but he would know better than I. Probably
so
the
morning. When would I sum up? On Wednesday?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I once was a trial lawyer. Everybody wants to have their schedule fit just perfectly. It really ever does. But I'm also obviously aware of how unfun it is to be summing up at 4:45, Watching people yawn at you, of course, that never happened to me. So I am aware of that, but I really want to make good use of our time. So we'll see how far we can get. I won't do what Judge Johnson does, which is ask in front of the jury how long your summation will be.
Do you anticipate your statement all of Wednesday afternoon?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think it would be about 3 hours.
Yes, and then you can come up the next day, and then they can do their rebuttal summation, and then we'll charge hopefully in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
And then at some point, I guess, I haven't gone over every single word of the charge, which I would like to do. So maybe, is that going to be your ballywick?
Yes.
All right. So let me see what I can accomplish over lunch, just so the larger issues we have resolved. And then what I will try to do is get it to you. We'll get it done today. I'm looking at the smarter person in the group. All right?
Do you want to? I assume that you probably know this already, but do you want a list to identify the Jane Does with their names that they testified in trial, since the jury obviously doesn't know their Jane Doe numbers? I think in the indictment it lists a Jane Doe number, and we should probably substitute the actual name that they testified.
In the indictment?
In the jury charge, where we repeat the indictment, like where it says.
We can, except I give the charge in open court.
Oh no, I meant the pseudonyms that they went under.
The pseudonyms, all right, that makes sense. Just parenthetically, there was a request to fix some very mechanical. There's a wrong citation or something in the charge. You don't have any problem with fixing that?
No.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ministerial part of that. Oh, and just in terms of it's my practice, well, the jury will be in. I keep forgetting. They will be in Judge D'Arcy's Hall's courtroom. And if they want to review video evidence, I want them to be able to do it in there. I don't like to bring jurors back in to do that, because I think it inhibits their ability to discuss it. So I'm assuming there will be a method to do that.
We've been talking about it, and I'm trying to identify one, but we agree that would be the most prudent way to do it.
We usually do it, and maybe the other much smarter person in this courtroom can remind me what we do, because we always do that. So,
right.
All right.
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
Sidebar conference ends. Continued on the following page.
Let's pause real quick, y'all. Let me pull this up real quick. So just so y'all know exactly where we are when it comes to being able to get. So we got the transcript for, we're on 19 now, we're going into 20. We still need to get 21, 22, and 23. So right now we are, let me show this to y'all. So we was able to get yesterday, we got another 50. So that was, so we are only 300 away from being able to get the rest of 21 and day 22. So let me put that in here. 300. $275. Because I don't think the last one is going to be worth much at all. 375 here.
Yeah, because it seems like these transcripts are getting shorter.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if we could just do 300 total, that should be able to wrap us up for the whole thing. We could do 300 total. I think we would be done with the whole doggone thing, because it looks like they didn't have much to go. The goal was 422.60. Okay, so there we go. So I just want to make sure y'all can see that. It's saved. It's strolling at the bottom for anybody that wants to put in. If you do want copies of the transcripts, make sure you attach your email to the bottom of the Cash App. So now what we're going to do, Riri, I'm going to switch you out with, okay, hold on. Nope, never mind. Stay where you at. Shay is here. Okay, so let's hold off. Let's see what's coming up next. Hold on. pull this up. Okay, so now we in open court. So 40-75. Go ahead, Judge.
Okay, we've just been talking about scheduling, and just given what I've been told about when people are available, we'll have a little bit of downtime, which is perfectly fine. I guess we'll probably finish a little bit early today, and then tomorrow there are witnesses through lunch. You think?
Hold on one moment. So what I want to do now, Tanya's back. Okay, Tanya, I'm
Sorry, I got kicked out.
Huh?
I got kicked out somehow. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Tanya, I'm gonna have you switch out with Riri to do the government now.
You got it.
And Riri, I'm gonna have you buzz back in if you want to. I don't know what's about to happen, but I want to give you a break. We're gonna switch out, okay?
Okay.
Now what we're gonna do is let me go back over here. And you started, does that make sense? Okay, and the candidate says yes.
What I plan to do is incorporate all of the things that you agree on. I don't think there's a lot of dispute about the charge, but I hope to get that to you at the end of the day today, so you can review it and let me know if there are changes to be made. One thing that we also discussed was just apparently a ministerial fix to the indictment in terms of the language to be used, as well as substituting the pseudonyms that were used for the various witnesses for that Jane Doe identification in the indictment. It sounds like nobody has a problem with that.
Thank you, Lady D. All right, so y'all, we're only now at, let me see. So somebody just did another 15. Somebody did 20. So that's 35 minus 285. Hold one moment, y'all. 285. Hold on. So it's 300 minus 35. Okay, so that leaves us 3 minus 30. Hold on. 19 plus 15. 15 plus 19. That is 34. So 34 minus 300. Okay, so 266. We 266 away from having everything we need from getting all of the indictments up to the last day. Okay. All right. So perfect. So let me write that down. 266. Let me update this over here. Hold on. 266. All right. I won't interrupt anymore. I just want to keep everybody abreast on what's going on. Okay. All right. And here we go. Okay. Perfect. All right. So Scholar comes in and says, correct.
Okay. Anything else that we need to put on the record? Oh, and I just need to make sure, Mr. Scholar, I know you have a lot on your plate, but I do just need to make a ruling on that, about that prior inconsistent statement with regard to Mr. Smith. And I think he was shown the testimony, correct?
He was on multiple occasions.
All right. So we'll try to resolve that as quickly as we can. Anything else that we need to put on the record? Okay, have a good lunch.
A recess in the proceedings was taken.
Thank you, Chocolate. All right.
In open. Keep going.
Okay. All rise.
Everybody can have a seat. Okay, we are ready to continue. I understand you a little hang up with your witnesses.
Yes, Your Honor. During the lunch break, we were able to speak to our investigator, and he has to do a little more investigation with respect to that third witness. We may still call her, but we're not in a position to call her today.
I see. Is this a very long witness?
No, she's not a very long witness.
This is the one we discussed.
Yes, Judge.
I see. Is that a person who is local?
Judge, she's not, but we were working diligently trying to find funds to pay for lounging and the travel as well.
All right. Is there anything else that we can accomplish this afternoon? I guess you're reserving on your motions, right?
I am, Your Honor.
I guess we will excuse the jury early.
Okay, stop right there. How the hell they had 2 years to prepare for this case? Them lawyers got money from RKelly, and they couldn't put $1,000 to the side to make sure they could get their witnesses there.
Because they haven't got any money.
They should have put their own salary since
my God.
Since it's such
I
a
can't
high.
believe they're trying to say that he's that broke. Come on.
He's not broke.
What?
He is
He's
not
got his
broke.
money
Come on.
stashed away. He's not broke.
I can't believe that.
Got money in the mattress. Okay, in the
Why
light.
didn't they get the
Somebody
all the
asked for the
YouTubers?
Zelle. Somebody asked for the Zelle. The Zelle is the phone number 404-820-2068. The Zelle is 404-820-2068. Thank you. How in the world can his lawyer say we didn't have no money to get our witness here that's going to help get our client out? That's crazy. Insane. You would have thought Canick. So you mean to tell me Canick broke, Scholar broke, Fair Another broke, and
Becker?
They couldn't put $50 together a piece to get that girl there?
Not for no 2 years. Nope, that's too much.
That is just blows my mind. RKelly must be like.
Okay.
I think RKelly just looking like, he's probably doing the eye rolling and all that in the back of his head and stuff. He don't really have to stand on. I don't feel the way
I just didn't want to waste their money.
Yeah, and I would just come just for the ride,
They probably lying. She probably told them she wasn't coming, and then he just.
But didn't they say that she was ready before lunch, and now after lunch she's not there?
Yeah, they said so. They lied. They said
both lying. They both lying. They
call a liar.
How you gonna say she's ready before lunch, and then after lunch she's still in Chicago, and you can't get her? Hold up, wherever she was at.
And lawyer sounds so much alike.
All right, let's go ahead and let's finish this thing out. I think the last thing was anything from the government.
Just that we again request a list of the witnesses that the defense intends to call on Wednesday.
Didn't we already resolve that?
I don't think we know for Wednesday, and I think we also haven't received pedigree information for the witnesses from Friday night so that we can identify some of them.
I was just speaking with the investigator, and he is waiting for me. And I will go back and I will make sure that we send whatever pedigree information that we have for the witness and also confirm who is on tomorrow and then those confirmed for Wednesday. And if not confirmed, at least we will send their information as well.
All right. I know that you had a couple of people on reserve that you were thinking about. If you can turn those over to, I don't think there is any reason not to.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. All right. Let's get the jurors.
All rise.
The jury enters the courtroom.
You may be seated.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It turns out that the witness we were expecting this afternoon isn't able to be called. It doesn't really change our schedule too much, but what that means is you have the afternoon off. So I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but it isn't derailing our schedule at all. So we are going to continue tomorrow. Tomorrow will also be on the short side. It will probably be just the morning again. This doesn't derail our plans. I expect to give you the case by the end of the week, probably on Thursday. But that's subject to a little change, so I don't want to overpromise. But I do want to reassure you that this is not going to take us off schedule. So I'm going to excuse you for the day. I will see you tomorrow. Please don't look up anything about the case, talk about the case at all. As I think I told you, when you were selected, these rules about not discussing it and not looking it up are going to go right until the very end of the case. Right until you deliberate and reach a verdict. That is a reminder. I hope you have a good rest of the day. and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
All rise.
Jury exits the courtroom.
All right, everybody can be seated. So just to review the outstanding things that I need to decide. I think the only question that I have to decide is whether or not that prior inconsistent statement comes into evidence, and you are going to give me a response in that. Right, Mr. Scholar?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the other thing?
I just wanted to clarify. I believe on Saturday, defense submitted a motion to dismiss Racketeering Act 1. The government responded yesterday with respect to that and also provided additional supplemental jury charge.
Right, I saw that. That seemed to be a little bit premature because all the evidence wasn't in. Do you want to supplement that motion to discuss the Racketeering Act 1?
Judge, it was more to so illustrate the jury charge as opposed to a formal motion to dismiss.
Okay, so it's not a motion to dismiss.
No, that will be included in the motion we're making.
Okay, until I get that, I will assume there's no motion to dismiss now. Obviously, you've reserved, so we'll hear from you on that. So we will get you the charge, I hope, later this afternoon. What I would like to do, as we said before, is tomorrow to go over it. I don't mean to go over it in court. What I want you to do is go over it and then tell me if there's anything that you want to have added. I think that's the most efficient way to do it. Or anything that you want to have added or that I've left out or something that you want to take out, anything like that. Anything else?
So we will start to do that. And then I think...
No, Miss
Oh,
Jeddes.
sorry. Just briefly, with respect to the recordings, I think Your Honor has now...
Oh, bless.
Hey, Shay, jump in. Jump in, Shay.
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
Okay. Just briefly, with respect to the recordings, I think Your Honor has now ruled that we can provide the audio with the redactions that we discussed at sidebar, as well as the victims' names.
Yes.
So we will start to do that. And I think there is an outstanding motion with respect to the defendant's medical records and whether those can be provided.
That's right. If someone can show me a copy of what's actually in evidence.
Hold real quick. Okay, y'all. So thank you very much to everybody that just donated. We have enough now. We have enough for 21 and 22. I don't know what 20. I know we have enough for 21 and 23. I don't know what 22 is going to be yet. I will find out this week. But thank you very much to everybody that was a blessing. Y'all don't need to give me no more money right now until I let y'all know what's 22 going to be. I don't know what 22 is going to be yet. I will find out between today and tomorrow. So you ain't got to send nothing else unless you just want to, be a blessing or whatever. Y'all been blessing me, so I appreciate y'all. But yes, if you still want to donate towards being able to get the transcripts, you can still do that also. We're not selling them, but we are sending them out for people that do put towards the ones that we're getting for 22. But we have enough for 21 and 23, thanks to y'all. So let me update this and take this off. Let me do this like this. Let me do this so people can still hold on. So we got enough for 21 and 23. Taking this off. There we go. Okay, perfect. Let me just save this here. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, ladies. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm back if you need me.
Okay, we're going to Shay read for a little bit. She's been waiting for
Yep, totally fine. Totally fine.
Thank you. All right.
That's right. If someone could show me a copy of what's actually in evidence. I take Mr. Scholar's point as a general matter about I don't know that HIPAA applies, but I think that's usually directed to the doctor. But it is evidence in the case about which there was testimony from the physician. And so, with appropriate redactions, things that aren't relevant, social security numbers, and things like that need to come out. But I believe the doctor testified using the medical records. So that can also go out with appropriate redactions.
All right. So Government Exhibit 237, which are the medical records, it doesn't contain any personally identifiable information with respect to social security numbers or anything like that, and has already been redacted. So I think that, based on what Your Honor is saying, can now go to the outlet who requested it.
Why don't I just take a quick look at it? Do you have a copy of it, Mr. Scholar?
What exhibit is it?
237.
Your Honor, look, as Mr. Scholar looked through the medical records, I'm just thinking that maybe given the court's ruling that the only thing that we should be released is that portion that is, germane to the testimony that we received and not his full medical history. I mean, his full medical history is not relevant too.
Well, it's not really in there. There are huge portions that are redacted. The only thing that is in there has to do with what the testimony was. I want to see the parties at the side with the court reporter about one aspect, which is not particularly exciting, but I want to know whether it needs to be in there.
Sidebar held, continued on next page. Sidebar conference held on the record out of the hearing of the jury.
Sidebar. Now hold on. Now this is. Whoa! I wonder what she wants to say. Go ahead, Judge.
The only thing I have a question about is, and maybe this is more about me than anything else, it has his height and weight. Do we need that?
I would say no.
I don't see why it matters.
We can redact that. That's fine. The only part that was relevant about it, the change to the EMR system, the electronic medical records.
There was testimony.
Yes.
There was testimony about that.
That's why that part was left unredacted.
I think to be extra careful, I think we can have that to ask to come into register since office changed to EMR. That will stay in. What comes afterwards?
Do you mind if I dog-ear the page?
Not at all. Just that second part, which, again, is not particularly exciting, but it is also not very relevant. We can go back to the record. Do we seal this part? It doesn't reveal what the information is. Mr. Kanik?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have to seal it.
End of sidebar conference. Continued on the following page. In open court, jury not present.
The record should just reflect that I have gone through the exhibit, which contains medical records, but I think it is fair to say that a majority of the pages have huge redacted sections, which relates to information about which the doctor did not testify. I've also directed the government to remove one section that, again, there's nothing particularly noteworthy about it, except that it doesn't pertain to the case, except a portion that references the change to electronic medical records. So everything else is really what the doctor testified to. If there's something else that I have missed in those records, you can let me know. The jury won't. Well, you're going to release them. Just double check to make sure there's nothing else other than those things that we have discussed. And then I think they're in shape to release to whichever outlet requested them. All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I know that your investigator's been coordinating with witnesses and all of that. He's testifying, isn't he? Maybe?
If he does, Judge, it will be testifying about, if he testifies, it would be just about doing investigative tasks, maybe looking at locations.
It is a general rule that we don't have witnesses aren't listening to the testimony. So I guess he has been in the overflow room. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Under these circumstances, I'm not sure that there is anything so terrible. I mean, your investigators also here in court and testified. You don't have any objection, do you?
I don't have any objection, but to the extent that the investigator is going to testify about photographs, we would like copies of any photographs that he is going to be testifying about. And I'm not sure what investigative tactics the defense investigator could testify about that would not amount to either being irrelevant or hearsay. So we would ask, to the extent that that is going to be subject of testimony, that the defense make a proffer as to what tactics he intends to discuss.
Well, I take everybody at their word that they're going to have relevant testimony to offer. I'm assuming that he took pictures of buildings and measured things?
Judge, if he has anything that's irrelevant or improper, I wouldn't call him, Judge.
I don't generally make people do proffers unless there is some reason to think that the person has nothing of value to say.
I'm sure he could have something of value to say. And to the extent that there are photos, I could imagine the relevance of that. I just don't know what tactics a defense investigator could testify about, that if we are talking about investigative steps and he is producing materials that he obtained as part of his investigation, then I assume we would be provided with those materials and we would understand the relevance just from that. If these are investigative tactics that did not result in tangible materials, I just don't understand what the relevance of that would be. But perhaps that's not the subject of his testimony.
I guess we will find out. Which day do you think he's going to testify, if he testifies?
If he testifies, we would save him probably to the end, just to evaluate whether he was needed or not.
All right. So that would be Wednesday, you think?
Possibly, yes.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Thank you so much.
Matter adjourned to September 21st, 2021 at 9:30 a.m.
All right, y'all. So now we are going into day 20. So it looks like, let me see, that's the index. Okay. So if y'all want to, we can roll right into day 20. Y'all want to do that?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it.
I need one moment till I get back to my computer. One moment.
Okay.
But I'm here. Okay.
Does everybody have day 20? Other than people that's reading on the screen?
And I don't have day 20.
Okay. Hold on.
And I am up late in London.
You said you're what now?
Just for your show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, always. Hello?
Oh, we lost Atmos.
Oh, what's happened there? We lost Atmos.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
It's I think it's after 1, isn't it? What time have you got? Because I'm 5 hours ahead of you.
Sorry, my thing had cut off.
Yes, it's well, I'm in Dallas, Texas, and it's 6 o'clock. It's 6.
Yeah, I'm 5 hours ahead in London.
Who's that in Dallas? Is that Riri?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Riri. I'm in Dallas too. We just got a tornado watch.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. They're closing the fair down early too.
Who else is in Dallas?
Miss Shay.
Miss Shay. Okay, we're gonna have to hook up. Okay.
Y'all gotta link up. So I'm sorry, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss English. How'd you say you found me?
I'm looking for stuff on RKelly. England doesn't get anything. We don't get any black TV, just basic English news that he's been found guilty. But I found you after Larry.
Oh, wow.
I was watching Larry, and then I found, but you're fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Your show, very good show.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate that. Let me send these transcripts if I can get to them. Go here, send, mail. Why won't it let me do this? Let me send it from my phone. Do me a favor, Quay. Give me your hold on. Sent 20. Give me the first two again. To your email. Quay. Is she here? Quay, you on mute, Quay. Okay. Quay, you there?
No, I was on mute. I'm back to the phone right quick. What'd you say? I just
2 letters of your email.
Oh, STR. I can send you an email and you can just respond back.
I got it right here. I got it. Okay, here goes day 20.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, y'all. So what y'all think so far? What did y'all think about the testimony of Hood, the testimony of the rapper dude? What did y'all think about it? Do y'all think that Hood was credible?
No. Shenanigans. They could have just left all that out.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just think that these are all just like scraping from the bottom of the
barrel.
They're just trying to find people.
Just people. Just
grasping their straws. You know RKelly? You know RKelly's song?
And they're
because wasn't Larry Hood one of the people that Angela testified that they were at the apartment the very first day?
Yes. RKelly was in the room with them girls, all them little girls, and Hood and Demetrius Smith was right outside the door.
Yep.
Exactly.
So he lied.
He lied. That's why I was going in on him, because I knew he was lying about it.
But he does forgery, so he sure don't care about.
And he said to Spoiler that he was like got honorable discharge from the police, and that was a lie.
Right. Because you can't get honor, like you can't keep your he shouldn't be able to keep his retirement, his pension, and he got convicted of a felony.
Right.
And I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out to wrap my mind around how on earth did they get a $5 bill look like a $100 bill? That is
perplexing.
What the heck was that?
I'm like, what?
And that he didn't know it. Come on.
Right.
Man.
One side of the bill said 100, and the other side said 5.
He's trying to buy money order. Really?
Right.
So they got Larry Hood to get up there and lie. They couldn't get the girlfriend, Geronda Pace's girlfriend, there because they didn't have enough money to get her there. I have never seen a defense as rinky-dink and janky as his defense was. It seemed like he just got a Hood defense.
Yeah, it seemed like a parody of a defense.
It's just making him look worse.
I just think
they should not had a defense.
I just think that Kanik is just there like for show, like a celebrity status, and he knows he's guilty. So they're not really gonna push it. They know RKelly's guilty.
They already know.
They know, so they're not gonna do as much as they can and spend money on him, are they?
Now let's take a little poll right here on this panel, and even in the chat. Now I put this question on my community page. Do y'all think he's going to plea out, or do you think he's going to be a narcissist and still go to court in Chicago?
He's going to plea out.
No, I think he's going to court.
He's running
He's
for
a
it.
narcissist because he feel like he got Chicago on lock because that's where he's from. He feel like everybody love him there.
No.
He beat the case in Chicago before.
No.
Yes, what he said. I beat my case there. I beat my
Right.
case.
Right.
No.
And I think
But
that
they-
he thinks in his mind, let me just go to Chicago and it'll all straighten itself
No.
out, and then I'll win my appeal in New York. Like that.
Yes,
Because if he
love
pleads,
me.
then he's screwed on his appeal, right? Because if he pleads out in
Yeah.
Chicago,
What you think, English?
I think he's going to plea out because don't forget Roshonda's been subpoenaed, hasn't she? Because have you seen the indictments for Chicago?
Yep.
She and also Lisa Van Allen. They're bringing back up the first video, aren't they? She's on 4 videos. That's the new indictment in Chicago. Have you seen it yet?
Hold on.
Yeah.
But if he pleads out in Chicago or even in Minnesota, he's gonna mess up his appeal in New York.
I think whatever he's done for anyway, because Roshonda, they're bringing back that case and it can't be double jeopardy anymore.
Right. And when Hood was testifying about the other police officers that he brought into for security, that's another reason why he was getting away with it in Chicago for so long, was because he was paying the police department.
Yes, when they used to do the welfare checks.
Yeah, I'd already heard that he had the people in Chicago on lock. He had half of them half scared with his goons, and the rest of them liked him. So he had, overwhelmingly the majority, except for Mr. DeRogatis. He the only one that was really just staying on him, but wasn't nobody paying attention to what that man was writing up and stuff.
Right.
But
I just
RKelly is so much of a narcissist that he is not going to concede. He's not a rational thinker. First of all, he probably would do better going to get an aptitude test or something and get an insanity plea, because that man has a problem. He's sick in the head and he does not know what he's saying. Because I really feel like
he's a sociopath.
But you guys got to realize an insanity plea doesn't mean that just because he's sick and he's a predator, that doesn't make him insane. And
right, that just means
he's insane in the court. He has to not understand what the difference is between right and wrong. He can't convince anybody that he does not know the difference between right and wrong, because he's had them write all kind of letters over all these doggone years. You know what I'm saying? He's been paying off people, Rashonda, her family, and everybody else, so that he can't prove. There's no way that he's going to be able to prove that he is legally insane.
Can I ask you guys a question, because you hear more the news there? This is baffling me. Why has he got a storage room why has he kept all these things for 30 odd years? Why?
A narcissist. Only a crazy
person
would
for
do
what
that.
purpose? He's not a murderer to say that it's trophies. Why?
And that's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot
only
of
a sicko.
Murderers, predators, they do that. They keep everything as their trophies. You know what I'm saying?
But then his girlfriend grassed him up. Azriel grassed him. Did he trust her that much?
Yeah.
His enablers knew about the storage and the stuff. Why?
I'm sure the enablers was putting in the storage.
Yeah, but he's given himself the evidence is there. They found everything. He done himself in. Yeah. Why would you do that? Why?
Stupid, and you think that you're never going to get caught because he has the police. He probably has Chicago mayors and governors and everybody else, and
all kind of councilmen
in his pocket, and he got away from it. He got away with it once. That hey, I'm gonna just keep on doing. I'm gonna keep being me.
You would think any rational person that was doing some messed up stuff like that, that's like me. If I got caught robbing a bank and I did it and I recorded myself doing it, why on earth would I go and record myself doing it over and over and over and over again? That there shows you the man crazy.
It doesn't. He was doing that during his trial. He was still during his trial, not his trial, but the 6 years that he put it off. He was still picking up kids. He was still beating them. He was still abusing them. He was still raping them. He was just carrying on like it's another day.
He doesn't like women. He does.
No,
He's a
he doesn't.
sociopath. He doesn't like women.
He
He
doesn't.
doesn't. He doesn't at all.
No.
Doesn't.
Nobody except for his mama is what he, from
No,
what I
I
can
don't.
tell. But he liked her in the wrong kind of way from his
Right. And I think
stuff
he
that
has a
put in his
problem with his
book.
mom too, because you remember his mom took that $5,000 payment from the dude that was the neighbor that
Yeah.
was investing him not to go to court. So I think he has a problem with the mom, underlining problem with the mother as well.
And the sister. He doesn't like
And
women.
definitely the
Yeah,
sister.
but
He doesn't
it's
like
so
women.
sick though. They say he bought his sister the house that she has.
Yeah, they say she's still, like, they show picture. I don't remember where I was searching the internet when it first in 2010. It's too buried now, but searching the internet, and there was pictures of his sister at, like, backstage at his concerts. Like around that time, you know what I'm saying? Like the mid 20s, you know.
And see, then he got his. They say he got himself with the backing from a lot of the churches when he came out with "I Believe I Can Fly" and stuff. And he gave a lot of money to a lot of the local churches, and it's sad, but a lot of local churches, all it takes is that money train, and a little bit of money goes a long way. And when you got the preachers up there saying, "Oh no, Robert Kelly's a good man. Why would y'all want to hurt Robert Kelly?" And then that little fit that he threw with Gail with them tears, y'all see he could turn those tears on and off like that. That is an art and a skill.
Yeah.
He has tapped into his creative side, and I'm like, at this point, I'm wondering, does this man even know the difference between reality and fake? Because he has even trying to make people feel sorry for him. He really act like he thought that they was gonna make him not have a trial or something. Like getting up there and making a fool out of himself.
In my opinion, I don't think he knew the reality between fake and real, or he wouldn't have kept most of them friends around or brought them back that got over on him.
Yeah, he has a real bad problem.
Yeah.
In the entertainment industry, a lot of people have that problem because all they have are the people that are around. The majority of the people around them are the people that they hired, and those people are just saying yes. That's
but
it.
He when he's tapping into his creative side, he has let reality go. Like this man is so twisted that he thought that. I mean, he would film himself pulling up to McDonald's. "Oh, I want a cookie," and all that singing and foolishness. Like, man, really? Like he thought that that if he could sing about it, basically the way he acted is if he wanted the gates of heaven to open up, all he had to do is get to the gates and sing, "I wanted to open up." If he could get in front of the judge and sing, "Your Honor, I'm innocent," but as he put, he didn't even say "I'm innocent" or "not guilty." Any person that is not guilty would never say, "I beat my case." I beat my case in and of itself is saying, "I know I'm guilty, but I got away with it.
I beat it." Right. All right, y'all. So look, so what we're gonna get into now, we're gonna go ahead and get over into page 20. Day 20. This is still the defense doing their part. This is structured a little bit different, so you kind of really need to know. So it starts off Quaysha with the stuff in the parentheses at the top of page 4092. Are you there, Quaysha?
Wait, I think Quaysha?
Quay?
What state do you live in, Atmos?
I live in Georgia.
Okay, you got that twang. Atlanta, are you?
Well, here's the thing. I was raised in Virginia though. So
there's this down south.
I was raised in Virginia, but I've been in Georgia now for about 8 years now, and I love it.
So you're Atlanta, so you know of him very well, Mr. Kelly.
I don't know nothing about Mr. Kelly. I don't know nothing. I know one or two people that claim they know him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, I couldn't know him. Like, to be honest with y'all, I was never really a R. Kelly fan. I just sang his music because I liked his music. But as far as me, like, if I was a fan, or if I would never fight for him. I wasn't that connected ever to this dude, right? I just wasn't, I don't get that locked into people like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, people like I do, like if it was LeBron James, that's a different story.
Yes.
My boy.
Yes.
Boy, and he's a really good dude. Like, I know some things about people, because I used to live close to Akron in Ohio.
Yes.
But so you hear things, people that used to date him and stuff like that. But that's also the people doing it in their younger days when they're young. Some people grow up, So Quay, are you back? Question. So I don't know what's going on with Quay. Let's go ahead and continue. She'll probably come back in. Let me see. So how about we do this? Let's see who we got coming on. Go ahead and start. I'll just read the parentheses stuff until she comes back. We'll see. Maybe I'll just have Riri come in and we'll do that. So go ahead. In open court, jury not present.
Everyone can have a seat.
Defendant enters the courtroom.
Mr. Scholar, I think this set of questions are for you. So we can do it without Mr. Canick. Do you have a position on the government's request to introduce that grand jury testimony pursuant to Rule 801?
Yes, I would oppose.
I really wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I didn't know if you wanted to give me a letter or if you wanted to think about why you oppose.
I can give you a letter in about 10 minutes.
Okay, you can also just do it orally. You don't have to submit something. It's one of the things that we've got to finish.
I have it written. I just didn't finish.
All right. So the question that I have about this is, the rule refers to cross-examination. The cases that you cite, I confess I haven't read them yet. But are you saying that it applies to Mr. Smith because he was, let's say, not the friendliest witness?
In some cases, Your Honor, we can refer to him as a hostile witness. I think the important things for Your Honor to take into consideration are, one, is that what the Second Circuit and other circuits have stated is that there just needs to be an opportunity for cross-examination with respect to the statements, and that if the witness available, which Mr. Smith was, the defense counsel would have had the opportunity to cross-examine him through questioning about his statements before the grand jury. And so in this particular situation that occurred here, Mr. Smith testified, he was present, and it afforded the opportunity for cross-examination with respect to those statements.
Okay, I'm not going to make you answer until you finished with your letter, unless you want to.
No, Judge, I think we covered it in our letter, and I think we'll stand on our letter. I would just say, though, Judge, reading some of the cases, it just seems that the government's reading of the statute, of the rule, is an apposite. It seems that, since he hasn't impeached with grand jury testimony, in the sense that it wasn't a situation where he was it was used for impeachment.
Well, I think what happened, and my recollection serves, is that after he testified on Friday, when he came back on Monday, he was much more willing on Friday. He acknowledged his testimony before the grand jury. I think he gave it some thought over the weekend and decided he would say he couldn't remember. That's. And so I think when he came back, he said he couldn't remember, and the government showed him the testimony. I don't recall, and maybe I missed it, I don't recall you asking to put it in at that point.
Not at that point, Your Honor.
Okay, I just wanted to, but that is my recollection of how things unfolded, but...
He was shown the testimony, and at various stages through his testimony, he said he either tried to explain it or denied it, which is what the Second Circuit has stated.
Didn't he just say he didn't remember what happened?
There are times he said he didn't remember. There are times when he said, I know I said that, but I'm not trying to change my testimony, but...
I'm just talking with respect to this particular piece of testimony. My recollection was that he said he just couldn't remember, he just had a very hazy recollection.
He stated that, and he also gave some more rambling roving answers, and there's a second court and other circuits stated that's the exact situation in which 801D 1A contemplates for this type of testimony to come in prior sworn testimony for its substance.
Judge, I've read some of those cases, and it's not as clear as what the government is saying with respect to the application of the rule. And Mr. Smith's testimony to the grand jury was also mostly, I don't remember, or I don't recall. So the testimony...
Not on this topic?
Well, some of the answers, he gave that were alluding to where also. I don't recall. I don't remember. So it was not necessarily inconsistent.
But you agree that you had the opportunity to cross-examine him about it. That's not your quarrel with it. Is that correct?
Well, I would quarrel with it in the sense that if they had used the grand jury in a way where they're using it now, then we would have had an opportunity to cross-examine him. They didn't do that when he was on the stand. And because they didn't do that, we would argue that we didn't have a full and fair opportunity to cross-examine him because they're getting the answers, we did on the cross, and which was he had nothing to do with it. There was no reason to actually ask him any other questions. But having done this when he was actually on the stand, we would have had the chance to actually cross-examine him, and they didn't do that.
That's the question I have. If in the posture that the witness was left, in the posture that the questioner was left, he said he didn't remember, and that the grand jury, that he looked at the grand jury minutes, but that he didn't remember that either. And so I don't think there are too many advocates that would start asking him questions about the grand jury minutes at that point. And so I'm wondering if that's really an opportunity to cross-examine about when it wasn't put to him that way. I don't recall that. I don't remember an application to me to introduce it for those reasons.
I think defense counsel is conflating two issues. He's conflating 613B with 801D1A. 801D1A does not require that they actually have that they specifically will have cross-examined him about the prior statement.
Well, why would they? So that's my question. In the absence of a specific application to admit it's pursuant to 801, there's no competent lawyer under those circumstances that will start asking him questions when they got that answer.
And I would argue, Your Honor, and I can refer you to specific cases, and I believe I pointed them out in our briefing, that the courts have stated that the time, it's not that. The government is not required at the time to request to move to the grand jury testimony in. The grand jury testimony was referenced in situations such as this, in which a witness begins to state that they don't recall intentionally is evasive. The government or the opposite party has the opportunity to offer. There is no requirement that that offer happen during the testimony.
So you don't have to alert your adversary that you're going to try to move it in under these circumstances?
I don't believe that the case requires that, Your Honor.
Well, I'll take a look at it. I just wanted to see where we were on that topic.
Scholar switching his voice up, y'all, because it was called out that he's a big black dude. And so his voice is that high and pitchy, he be walking around with rainbows flying from his shoes. So we're gonna change him up a little bit. We're gonna change Scholar up. I just never thought about it. Huh?
Scholar
had a completely different picture of him.
Scholar, I think that's the big black dude, right?
Yeah, the young guy, youngish guy.
All right, let me change him up. Here we go. Yeah, I'll finish my letter, Judge.
I beg your pardon?
I'll finish my letter.
Okay, it's just something that we need to take care of. Now, do you have any witnesses that are here now, ready to go?
I think Mr. Scholar just needs to introduce himself to him.
Do you want a few minutes to do that?
Yes, please.
Then there are a couple of other issues we can handle related to the charge. Is that you too?
That's me, Judge.
Why don't you go talk to your witness? I get a sense Mr. Canick has some idea about the charge, don't you?
None.
None? I don't think there were too many quibbles with what was sent out last night.
No, Judge.
Okay.
One or two, but not many.
I know you want me to switch the verdict sheet. I'm not going to do that. And I frankly haven't looked at what you wanted me to do. But my brilliant law clerk has, so she tells me there isn't too much that has to change. So we'll take a look at that. So why don't you go talk to your witness? Go ahead. And there is a topic that I don't think requires Mr. Scholar's input regarding, I don't know, if you saw the letter from I can't recall who sent it, some press outlets. I think they sent that letter before we reached a resolution. Oops. The resolution that we reached on playing the audio of those. Obviously, the video content cannot be played for obvious reasons. It's extremely graphic. It would be. I think embarrassing is an understatement, but it would cause humiliation and all kinds of other consequences to the people who are depicted in it. So the video cannot be played, but the audio with those redactions that we talked about, which are just basically names, can be played. And I just really leave it to the government to figure out when that's going to happen.
We understand. Thank you, Judge.
Is Quay back? Quaysha, you back? Okay.
Continue to the
Riri.
next page.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Riri?
Yeah, continue to the next page.
Okay.
Next page.
All right, we're moving on to the next page. Here we go.
Ooh. And I just need to see the parties at the side without the reporter. Just about one little scheduling question.
Discussion held off the record at sidebar without the court reporter. In open court, jury not present.
Are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Judge.
Do you want to get your witness in here first, and then we'll begin? And what's the witness's name?
Jeff Meeks, Meeks.
You know what, from Squeaky.
Hey, I had to put him like, like Biggie, you know what I'm saying? Because he a big dude like me, you know what I'm saying? But he just real tall, right? I had to give him some type of husk to his voice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All
got
right.
it.
Baby.
You can have a seat. Let's get the jury.
Yes, Judge. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Let's get the jury. All rise.
Jury enters.
You may be seated.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We're ready to begin. We had a few little travel snags, but we're all set to go now. Mr. Scholar, will you call your witness, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jeff Meeks. Please stand and raise your right hand.
Witness is sworn.
Thank you. You can be seated.
Okay, just a few things before you can take your mask off. The most important thing is that the jury can hear you and that everybody else can hear you. So you can pull the microphone a little bit closer to you if you like. Don't speak too quickly. The court reporter takes down everything that you say, and if you speak too quickly, it makes her job harder. For the same reason, if a lawyer is questioning you, let the lawyer finish the question before you start to answer, so you're not talking over each other. If there's a question that you don't understand or you want to have repeated, let me know, and I'll have the lawyer rephrase it, and just do your best to only answer the question you are being asked, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Scholar.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jeffrey Meeks called as a witness, having been duly sworn and affirmed, was examined and testifies as follows. How do you know Mr. Kelly? How do you know Robert Kelly? Do you know Robert Kelly? I do.
We can't hear that at all. Move the microphone a little bit closer to you. I think it's on the right.
It is.
Okay, so speak into it.
Do you know Robert Kelly? I do. How do you know him? I worked for him. And do you see him in court today? I do. And can you say something, that he's wearing right now? I'm sorry. Can you say, or can you tell us, what he's wearing right now? What he's wearing?
Just identify him. There's a bunch of people over at the table. If you recognize him, just identify him by a piece of clothing he's wearing.
He's wearing glasses and a mask.
Sorry, it's funny. There are two people with glasses and masks. I think we can all agree that he's identifying Mr. Kelly.
That's correct.
All right, go ahead.
How did you start working for Mr. Kelly? I applied for a job at the studio. Manager hired me. He just so happened to work there as well.
I can hardly hear you. So if you want, you can take the microphone off the stand. But you've got to speak up, okay?
Okay.
All right, so you applied for a job?
Correct.
I didn't hear what else you said.
He happened to work at the studio that hired me.
Okay, go ahead.
And how you apply for that job? I sent in a resume. And how did you, who did you interview with? I don't remember his name. And when you first started working for Mr. Kelly, what did you do? I was an intern, an unpaid intern. How long were you unpaid intern? Oh, not even a week. And when you were an intern, what, if anything, did you do for Mr. Kelly? Nothing specifically for Mr. Kelly. I just kept the studio clean for everybody. And then after you got promoted, what did you do then? I answered the phones. And you would be at the front desk? That's right. And which studio are we talking? Where did you start? It was called Chicago Tracks. Okay. About what year was this? 2002. And when you were at the front desk, did you ever, we'll withdraw that. When you were at the front desk, did you ever take IDs? I did. All right. And what did you do with the IDs? I would make a copy of them and kept them on file. I'm sorry? Kept them on file. Okay. And while you were at the front desk, taking IDs, did you observe any underage woman at the studio? No, I'm not sure if I inspected every ID, thoroughly, but I don't recall any underage.
What year are we talking about?
He said 2002, Judge.
2002, okay.
Am I correct? 2002? I did IDs from 2002 through probably 2006. And during this time, are you still, at Chicago Tracks Studio? That's right. And when you were at the Chicago Tracks Studio, were you able to walk around freely? I don't really understand the question. Okay, when you were at the Chicago Tracks Studios, were you able to move from room to room? I worked in the studio, though, that's the only room I needed to go to. Okay, well, would you be able to go to other rooms, if you needed to? I wouldn't need to. Okay. Did you observe other rooms? Sure. Okay. Did you ever observe locks on the outside of the doors? No. To these rooms? No, I did not. Okay. And did you ever observe women locked inside any rooms at Chicago Track Studios? No. Okay, so after you were an intern, would would your description be as a runner? Another runner. I was a phone guy. Okay, and then what happened next? Like, did you get promoted again? Yeah. Then I became a runner. Okay, and as a runner, what did you do if anything? Errands. Okay. And how long did you do running? Or how long were you a runner? Couple of years. Okay. And did you have interaction with Mr. Kelly during this period? I did. And what interaction did you have with Mr. Kelly? I don't really understand. Would you see Mr. Kelly on a daily basis? Most times, yes. Would you speak to him? Yes. Would he speak to you? Yes. And after you were a runner, did you get promoted again? I did. Okay. And what, if anything, happened next? Like, what did you get promoted to? An assistant engineer. Okay, cool. And what did you do as an assistant engineer? I assisted the engineer.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, really?
Oh, my days.
I'm walking right into that, okay? Particularly with respect to the music. What did you do? I usually assisted the engineer. I would type out the lyrics, take notes on what sounds were used and anything that was used in the recording process. Okay. Now, can you describe for the jury what a particular day was like working as an assistant engineer for Mr. Kelly? Just sitting in a chair and typing out lyrics.
Wow.
Okay. And what time of day, what time, when would you start your day? It would depend. Usually I would start work nights 9 o'clock at night and to 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. and when you got to work at 9 o'clock, was Mr. Kelly there? Sometimes not. Okay. And did you know where he was when he wasn't there? I would assume most times.
Let's not assume. I take it you don't know where he was when he wasn't there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Were you aware of Mr. Kelly playing basketball? Sure. Where would he play basketball at night? Yes. And what time of day would he play basketball? I mean, not exclusively at night, but typically.
Did you watch him play basketball, or did you just know that's what he was doing?
I would sometimes be at the gym.
Okay.
And at some point, would Mr. Kelly come back to the studio? Most times, yeah. And what would happen, when Mr. Kelly came back to the studio? What would you do with respect to your job?
Objection.
Overruled.
We would record music. Okay. And for how many hours would you record? It would depend, but usually many. Okay. And can you describe what you mean by many? More than 10? Sure. Typically. Okay. And are we still talking about Chicago Track Studio or another place? I'm more thinking of Olympia Fields at this point. Okay. And while you were at the Olympia Fields location, did you ever hear women banging on doors? No. Did you ever see women locked in rooms? No. Now, the area where you were at the Olympia Fields, can you describe that area? You know, how did you get into Olympia Fields? There was a gate, so the driveway, and then you park, and then you would, the side utility door, and we'd walk into. Now, once you went inside to the side door, where would you go? To the well. You would punch in the time clock in the kitchen, and then you would walk into the studio. Did anyone prevent you from walking around in the studio of Olympia Fields? No. Did you know a person named Deny? I do. How do you know Deny? He would be at the studio a lot, and I recorded his vocals sometimes. He was a rapper. Okay. And did you also go on tour with Mr. Kelly? Occasionally. And do you remember the names of the tours you went on? I don't. And did you ride on the tour bus or in the Sprinter? Both. And what were your duties when you went on tour with Mr. Kelly? It would depend. Sometimes I would work the back lines and do the technical stuff on the stage, and sometimes I would be a personal assistant, a driver, and just getting him in the gig. Okay, and can you describe the tour bus? Like, what was inside the tour bus? Seats. There was a little kitchen area. There was a bunk beds, and there was a room in the back. Was there a bathroom also? A bathroom too. Yeah. Okay, and when you were on the road, when Mr. Kelly would, be, the bus stops from time to time. Would the bus stop from time to time? Sure. And would the buses stop for food? Yes. And would the buses stop for the bathroom breaks? Yes. And how long did you work for Mr. Kelly? Probably close to 15 years. And during those 15 years, did you ever have a chance to see any of his girlfriends? Sure. Okay, and when you observed his girlfriends, how were they dressed? It depends. Well, in what situation would it depend? Like, if it was a Saturday night and a party, they would be dressed up. Okay, and if it wasn't Saturday night, how would they be dressed? I mean, I really didn't understand the question.
Okay, next question.
When you observe Mr. Kelly's girlfriends, would they be dressed?
Objection.
Well, he hasn't asked a question. Don't lead, though. Do you have any recollection of how?
No.
Okay.
And when Mr. Kelly's girlfriends were at the studios, were they allowed to eat?
Were they allowed to eat what?
Eat. I don't want to assume, but I would have to assume because...
Objection.
Just if you know the answer from seeing it, you can testify. But if you don't know, just say you don't know.
I guess I don't know because, I mean, that's not what I was there for, to make sure everybody was eating. As a runner, would you have to go get food? Sure. And how would you do that? Like, how would that go? What was the process for that? Oh, somebody would, the phone guy will usually give me the order and I will go get it. Okay. Now, in order to work for Mr. Kelly, did he require you to write a letter for him? No. And did Mr. Kelly ever fine you? Sorry. Did he ever fine you? Yes. And what did he fine you for? I don't remember. Now, you worked with him up till about 2010. Yeah. And then again, like 2014 through 2019. And between 2010 and 2014, you took a break. That's right. And when you went back to work for Mr. Kelly, and then you went back to work for Mr. Kelly. I did. And are you working in the industry today? No. Thank you very much. Nothing further.
Okay. Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. But 1 second, please.
All right. So, Tanya, if you could read the government now, if you can. Tanya?
I'm back now too, Agnes.
I'm here. Yep, I can do that. No problem.
Okay, Quay, you can still do your parts. All right, Tanya, read the government for a little bit, please.
You got it. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, if we could just have a very brief sidebar.
Sure. With the court reporter.
Can you turn that down, please? Yes.
Sorry. I'm reading from your screen because I haven't caught up on my screen yet. I don't know. What page are you on? I'm reading from your screen.
Okay, can you see my screen on your phone or whatever you're looking on?
Scroll up some, please. Scroll up.
It just says continue on to the next page.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see this? 41:15.
Sidebar conference held on the record out of the hearing of the jury.
Defense counsel asked the witness whether or not he checked identification for people coming into the studio. As we've discussed before, witnesses have. We believe witnesses will indicate that the procedure for checking identification began shortly after the defendant's arrest in 2001.
Okay.
And so asking, we believe he opened the door with respect to that and see whether or not the court would permit examination on that.
So, I mean, there's some witnesses that are communicative, and some that aren't. And I think what he said was he checked IDs, but he wasn't always very thorough about it. I'm not sure that opens the door.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sidebar conference ends. Continued on the following page. In open court.
Good morning, Mr. Meeks.
Good morning.
Now, you testified that you started working at a studio where the defendant also worked in approximately 2002. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the studio that you started working at, that was Chicago Tracks, correct?
Correct.
And when you started working there, you were working directly for Chicago Tracks?
That's correct.
So you were employed by them, correct?
That's right.
And you stated that at some point you began working directly for the defendant?
I did.
Okay. And when was that?
I don't remember.
How far into your time with Chicago Tracks did you start working directly for the defendant?
I'm guessing it's probably about 1.5 years or 2 years.
So during your first 1.5 to 2 years, you were working for Chicago Tracks, not the defendant, correct?
Correct.
And so your job responsibilities had to do with Chicago Tracks, not the defendant, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you started working for the defendant, you were trained by an individual named Donnie Lyle. Is that correct?
No.
Do you recall telling federal agents that you were trained by an individual named Donnie Lyle?
Not in those words.
Are you familiar with an individual named Ryan Salisbury?
Salisbury? Yes.
And Ryan Salisbury trained you in your work for the defendant, correct?
As far as a runner position, yes, correct.
And Salisbury instructed you on how the defendant wanted things to go while you were working for him at the studio, right?
Partly, Mr. Kelly would also tell me.
Mr. Kelly would tell you how he wanted things to go at the studio, correct?
As well as Donnie.
So Donnie did give you instructions about how things should go at the studio while working for the defendant, right?
I mean, yes, but...
Okay. And when you started working for the defendant, you signed a confidentiality agreement, correct?
I think so.
And that confidentiality agreement meant that you couldn't speak about what happened at the studio, right?
I don't know what you mean.
But you understand that confidentiality means, right?
Objection.
Overruled.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sure.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
And you testified that when you started working for the defendant, you started by answering phones, correct?
No, I started as an intern.
Okay. And then at some point, you moved to answering phones.
Very quickly.
I just want to make sure I understand. You started working at Chicago Tracks first, correct?
That's right.
And is that when you were an intern?
Yes.
And so by the time you started working for the defendant, you weren't an intern anymore. Is that correct? Is that right?
I was an intern for a few days.
Okay. And so the first job you had for the defendant was answering phones.
Correct.
Okay. Did you also have that job at Chicago Tracks answering phones?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'm confused. So the first year and a half, 2 years, you're at Chicago Tracks and you're answering phones. Correct so far?
After the first 4 days of intern.
Okay. And then at some point, you started working for the defendant.
Correct.
What job was your first job when you worked for the defendant? What were you doing?
Time. Somebody please
Already?
put that 4120. Yeah, we've been on here for 2 hours, y'all. Time flies when you have
Wow, yeah, past my bedtime.
It was past your bedtime when you got here.
Yeah, indeed. It's worth it.
You did a great job, Judge.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys do a good job as well. You guys are very good.
You got an extra flavor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, Donnelly is good as an English woman for sure.
Yes.
Don't you ever get any men come on your chat? And
I'm trying to. I don't know why they. I tried to get Robert Keller to come on here. Robert Keller said he was tired. So it's kind of like, come on, bro. I need you, man. I'm reading like 3 or 4 dude parts. And let me tell you something. It's hard sometimes to switch out dude parts.
You are incredible with that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Listen.
And how old?
You forgot I could
is
read
Mr.
as a
Meeks,
dude?
By the way.
Huh?
How old
Dude,
is
I
Mr.
thought that's
Meeks?
a dude for real.
Mr. Meeks is like 97.
Right.
He like 73. He an old school cat. He old school.
If he was an intern in 02, I'm pretty sure he can't be no more than 40.
Yeah, you know, he was smoking, so he had that.
I was gonna say.
Right.
You know what that music will do to you. Cut your life in half.
But man, listen, everybody did an awesome job. This week, everybody came together. I'm going to order the transcripts tonight for 21 and 23. I'm going to inquire on day 22, and I'm going to send out everybody the transcripts for 21 and 22 as soon as I get them. And then I will let y'all know what we got to do for day 22. But thank you, everybody.
When you say day 23 is the last day, is that including all the closing arguments?
No, day 24 is the last day.
Oh, okay.
We got
all that stuff. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe we're getting so close to the end.
We are.
I know, right?
Here, we right.
What
there.
are we gonna do?
We're gonna go out and get into these Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, Chi-Town stuff.
Right.
We ain't stopping. Can't nobody take my pride. Can't nobody.
Oh no.
I got to keep on moving.
Exactly.
But I told you I can always be a dude if you need a dude voice.
Okay,
You know, I'm versatile.
Okay, I appreciate.
We'll try to drop it. You know, drop that voice low.
I could be Mr. Meek for you.
Man. Woo, all right. Now, when Shay jumped in right then and there and did that, I was like, wouldn't I let a dude on the pan?
Good job.
I was like, Robert, can't do this somehow. But listen, Y'all listen, I want y'all to have a blessed week. We'll be back here tomorrow. I'll let y'all know. Monday's my late day, so I'll let y'all know. I'll post it, let y'all know. For everybody that came on, thank y'all so much. Y'all were incredible. Everybody who
see you from London, guys. Thank you, guys.
So much.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye.
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 Bye-bye, sweetie.
All right, y'all. See y'all later.
All right.
Oh, 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 no. I don't need negative energy. Wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life. Been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong. They're struggling too long. This song is for you. I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way. I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
One more thing, y'all. If you can remember to please hit the like button. Please hit the like button on the way out. Please, please, please. Any other video you didn't hit it on, please hit it. Okay? Thank y'all very much. God bless y'all. Peace out.